Lara always found herself skirting the edges of confrontation. It wasn't that she feared conflict itself, but rather the unpredictable outcomes that lurked in its wake. In her bustling city, where honking cars and hurried footsteps painted the streets with urgency, Lara lived a life of careful avoidance. She remembered a day from her childhood when a disagreement with a classmate over a trivial matter spiraled into a cold war that lasted weeks. The silence and the uneasy glances exchanged in the classroom corridors left an indelible mark on her young mind. As she grew older, Lara became adept at reading the subtle cues that preceded a clash. The tightening of a colleague's jaw, the flare of nostrils, or the barely suppressed sighs in meetings were her signals to step back, to diffuse tension with humor or a swift change of topic. This strategy, while often leading to her being labeled as easygoing or diplomatic, also meant swallowing her opinions, sacrificing her voice on the altar of peace. Her most challenging test came when she worked in a high-pressure marketing firm. Deadlines were as relentless as the city's heartbeat, and tempers flared as easily as lighting a match. One afternoon, a heated debate over a campaign idea saw her team leader and a senior designer locked in a verbal duel. Lara, sensing the storm brewing, tried to steer the conversation to calmer waters. But her interventions were ignored, the room crackling with unresolved tension. She felt herself shrinking, her presence receding into the background. Even in her personal life, Lara's avoidance of confrontation played a significant role. She dated a man named Raj for 3 years, and while their relationship was mostly harmonious, there were undercurrents of discontent that she chose to overlook. The dishes left unwashed, the forgotten dates, the unsaid apologies. Each minor infraction was a stone added to the weight of unspoken grievances. When the inevitable breakup came, it was not with a bang but with a whisper, a mutual recognition that their silent wounds had festered beyond repair. In her quieter moments, Lara often pondered the roots of her aversion. Was it a product of her upbringing, where her parents' rare but explosive arguments left her craving stability? Or was it a fear of vulnerability, the possibility that standing her ground could expose her insecurities, her weaknesses? She envied those who navigated confrontation with grace, who emerged from the crucible of conflict with stronger bonds and clearer understandings. Yet there was an incident that began to shift her perspective. A close friend, tired of Lara's habitual sidestepping, confronted her about it. The conversation was uncomfortable, raw, and filled with truths that Lara had long buried. But as the initial sting of criticism faded, she felt a surprising sense of relief. The air between them, once thick with unsaid words, felt lighter, cleaner. It was then that Lara realized confrontation need not always be a battle. Sometimes, it could be a bridge to deeper connections. Lara's journey with confrontation remains a work in progress. Each day presents opportunities to choose between silence and voice, between retreat and engagement. And while she still often finds herself leaning towards avoidance, there are moments when she takes a deep breath, squares her shoulders, and steps into the fray, discovering in each small victory the courage to face the next. As the years passed, Lara's inclination to avoid confrontation grew more complex. She often found herself observing conflicts from the periphery, like a scientist studying a specimen. It fascinated her how others navigated the minefield of human emotions, how some wielded anger as a weapon, while others used it as a shield. In her late 20s, Lara took a job at a non-profit organization dedicated to urban renewal. The work was rewarding but fraught with challenges. Her role required her to mediate between stakeholders with conflicting interests, local residents, business owners, and city officials. This new environment forced her to confront her fears head-on. There was no room for evasion when the future of entire communities was at stake. One memorable project involved the redevelopment of a dilapidated park in the heart of the city. The plan was to transform it into a vibrant community space. However, disagreements arose over the park's design. Residents wanted a playground for children, while business owners pushed for a commercial space to attract tourists. Meetings became battlegrounds, with raised voices and pointed fingers. Lara, despite her internal turmoil, knew she had to step into the fray. During one particularly heated meeting, she took a deep breath and spoke up. Her voice quivered at first, but she pressed on, presenting a compromise that included both a playground and small commercial kiosks. To her surprise, the room fell silent. People listened. The proposal wasn't perfect, but it was a step forward. Lara felt a surge of confidence. She realized that her avoidance had stemmed from a fear of rejection, a fear that her ideas wouldn't be valued. But here, in this small victory, she found a glimmer of hope. Outside of work, Lara's personal relationships continued to be a battleground for her confrontation aversion. Her best friend, Aisha, was her polar opposite, bold, outspoken, unafraid to tackle issues head-on. Their friendship was a dance of contrasting styles. Aisha often pushed Lara to express her feelings, to stand up for herself. One evening, during a casual dinner, Aisha confronted Lara about her tendency to bottle up emotions. The conversation was raw and emotional, but it also brought them closer. Lara realized that true friendships could withstand the storms of confrontation and emerge stronger. Romantically, Lara's journey was tumultuous. She met Omar at a charity event. He was kind, gentle, and shared her passion for community work. Their connection was immediate, but as their relationship deepened, so did the conflicts. Omar was patient, but his patience had limits. He often encouraged Lara to voice her concerns, to share her thoughts without fear. Yet, old habits die hard. Lara struggled to open up, fearing that vulnerability would lead to rejection. The turning point came during a trip to the mountains. They had planned it as a getaway, a chance to escape the city's chaos and reconnect with nature. But even the serene landscape couldn't mask the tension brewing between them. One evening, as they sat by a campfire, Omar gently prodded her to talk. Lara, feeling the weight of unspoken words, finally let her guard down. She spoke of her fears, her insecurities, and her struggle with confrontation. Omar listened, his eyes reflecting understanding and compassion. It was a cathartic moment, one that brought them closer and set a new foundation for their relationship. Lara's journey with confrontation was far from over, but each step forward was a testament to her growth. She learned that avoidance only led to festering wounds, while confrontation, though painful, could lead to healing. She found strength in vulnerability, courage in expressing her true self, and a newfound appreciation for the complexities of human interactions. In the bustling city that had once felt overwhelming, Lara began to carve out a space for herself, a space where she could navigate conflicts with grace, where her voice mattered, and where her presence made a difference. And in this journey, she discovered not only the art of confrontation, but also the art of living fully and authentically. Lara's journey continued to evolve as she navigated the labyrinth of human emotions and relationships. After her revelation during the mountain trip with Omar, she became more determined to face her fears head-on. It wasn't an overnight transformation, but a gradual process of learning and unlearning. She enrolled in a conflict resolution workshop offered by her organization. The sessions were intense, with role-playing exercises that pushed her out of her comfort zone. She learned about the importance of active listening, empathy, and assertiveness. These tools became her armor, helping her to engage in difficult conversations without feeling overwhelmed. She started practicing these skills in her daily life, first with small encounters, and then with more significant challenges. One of the most profound changes occurred within her family dynamics. Lara's relationship with her younger brother, Ali, had always been strained. He was fiery and impulsive, often clashing with their parents. Lara, on the other hand, had always been the peacekeeper, the one who smoothed over disagreements. But this role had left her feeling distant from Ali, unable to bridge the gap between their different personalities. One evening, during a family gathering, Ali and their father got into a heated argument. Lara felt the familiar urge to retreat, to let the storm pass. But something inside her shifted. She took a deep breath and stepped into the middle of the conflict. Using the techniques she had learned, she calmly addressed both of them, acknowledging their frustrations and guiding the conversation towards a resolution. It wasn't easy, and there were moments when she doubted herself, but in the end, they managed to find common ground. For the first time in years, Lara felt a sense of connection with Ali, a bond forged through understanding rather than avoidance. At work, Lara's newfound confidence began to shine through. She took on more leadership roles, leading projects that required her to navigate complex interpersonal dynamics. Her ability to mediate and resolve conflicts became an invaluable asset, earning her respect and admiration from her colleagues. She realized that confrontation, when approached with empathy and clarity, could be a tool for positive change. But not all conflicts could be resolved so easily. Lara faced moments of frustration and setbacks. There were times when her efforts to communicate were met with resistance or hostility. She had to learn to accept that not every confrontation would have a happy ending, and that was okay. What mattered was that she was trying, that she was no longer hiding from the challenges that life threw her way. In her personal life, Lara and Omar's relationship deepened. They learned to navigate their differences with honesty and patience. There were still arguments and disagreements, but they approached them as opportunities for growth rather than threats to their bond. They became a team, supporting each other through the ups and downs, and their love grew stronger with each shared victory and each hard-won compromise. As the years went by, Lara looked back on her journey with a sense of pride. She had come a long way from the timid girl who feared confrontation. She had learned to find her voice, to stand her ground, and to embrace the messy, beautiful complexity of human relationships. She knew that her journey was far from over, that there would always be new challenges to face. But she also knew that she was no longer afraid. She had discovered the strength within herself to confront the world head-on, to live fully and authentically, and to build connections that were deeper and more meaningful than she had ever imagined. Lara's professional journey continued to intertwine with her personal evolution. Her role in the nonprofit organization expanded, and she was now leading a major project that aimed to transform an old industrial area into a green space for the community. The project was ambitious and faced numerous obstacles, not the least of which were the divergent opinions of stakeholders. One significant hurdle involved negotiating with a powerful developer who had his own vision for the area, one that leaned heavily towards commercial exploitation. The developer, Mr. Khan, was known for his uncompromising nature. Lara knew that this confrontation would test her newfound skills to their limits. She spent days preparing, understanding his motivations, and crafting arguments that balanced economic development with community benefits. The meeting with Mr. Khan was tense. Lara felt the weight of the community's expectations on her shoulders. As they discussed, it became evident that Mr. Khan was resistant to any form of compromise. But instead of retreating into her old habits, Lara held her ground. She used facts, empathy, and a calm demeanor to present her case. She highlighted the long-term benefits of a green space, not just for the community, but for his business as well. To her surprise, Mr. Khan began to see the value in her arguments. After a series of intense discussions, they reached a tentative agreement that satisfied both parties. It was a victory that solidified Lara's belief in the power of constructive confrontation. In her personal life, Lara continued to explore her relationship with Omar. They decided to move in together, a step that brought its own set of challenges. Sharing a living space meant navigating everyday conflicts, from household chores to financial decisions. Lara found that open communication was the key. They established a routine of regular check-ins, where they could discuss any issues and resolve them before they escalated. This proactive approach helped them maintain a harmonious and supportive environment. Lara's relationship with her parents also underwent a transformation. Her father had always been a stern figure, his approval hard to earn. Growing up, Lara had often felt that her achievements were never quite enough. One evening, during a family dinner, her father made a comment that cut deeper than usual. Instead of brushing it off as she had always done, Lara decided to address it. With a steady voice, she expressed her feelings and the impact his words had on her. The room fell silent, her father's eyes reflecting a mix of surprise and reflection. After a pause, he apologized, something she had never expected. It was a breakthrough moment that began to heal old wounds and strengthen their bond. Lara's friendship with Aisha continued to be a source of joy and growth. They started a small book club, inviting friends to join and discuss literature that challenged their perspectives. These gatherings became a safe space for intellectual debate, allowing Lara to practice her confrontation skills in a more relaxed setting. She learned to appreciate the diversity of opinions and the richness it brought to their discussions. As she entered her 30s, Lara felt a sense of fulfillment and purpose that she had long sought. She had learned to embrace confrontation not as a source of fear, but as an opportunity for growth, understanding, and connection. She continued to face new challenges with the confidence that she could navigate them, drawing strength from her experiences and the support of those around her. Lara's journey was a testament to the transformative power of confronting one's fears. She had discovered that true strength lay not in avoidance, but in the willingness to engage with life's complexities. Her story was far from over, but she faced the future with a resilience and hope that she had never thought possible. She was ready to write the next chapter, knowing that each confrontation was a step towards a more authentic and enriched life. Lara's professional achievements brought her recognition and new opportunities. She was invited to speak at conferences, where she shared her insights on conflict resolution and community building. Her eloquence and authenticity resonated with audiences, and she found herself becoming a role model for young professionals. Mentoring aspiring leaders became one of her passions, and she derived immense satisfaction from helping others navigate their own journeys with confrontation and growth. In the midst of her burgeoning career, Lara decided to pursue further education. She enrolled in a part-time master's program in social entrepreneurship. Balancing work, studies, and her personal life was a challenge, but Lara thrived on the intellectual stimulation and the chance to deepen her understanding of social issues. Her thesis focused on the role of conflict in driving social innovation, and her research earned accolades from her professors and peers. One of the most impactful experiences during her studies was a field project in a remote village. Lara and her team were tasked with addressing a long-standing dispute over water rights. The conflict had divided the village for years, with different factions claiming ownership of the limited water resources. Lara approached the situation with the same principles she had honed over the years: empathy, active listening, and a commitment to finding common ground. The project was an uphill battle, with tempers flaring and distrust running deep. Lara spent weeks living in the village, building relationships with the residents and facilitating dialogues. She organized community meetings where everyone had a chance to voice their concerns and proposed a collaborative solution that involved equitable distribution and sustainable practices. It was a painstaking process, but eventually, the village reached a consensus. The experience was a profound reminder of the transformative power of confrontation when approached with patience and empathy. Back in the city, Lara continued to engage with various community initiatives. She joined a local advocacy group that worked on issues of social justice and equality. Through this group, she met diverse individuals who had faced different forms of adversity. Their stories inspired her and reinforced her belief in the importance of standing up for what was right, even when it meant facing uncomfortable truths. Lara's relationship with Omar blossomed into a partnership built on mutual respect and support. They embarked on a new adventure together, starting a social enterprise that focused on empowering underprivileged youth through education and mentorship. The initiative aimed to provide young people with the skills and confidence to navigate their own challenges and pursue their dreams. Lara and Omar worked tirelessly, combining their strengths to create a positive impact in the community. Despite her many successes, Lara remained grounded and introspective. She continued to reflect on her journey, acknowledging the moments of doubt and the lessons learned from each confrontation. She embraced the idea that personal growth was a continuous process, and she remained open to learning and evolving. One of the most rewarding aspects of Lara's journey was the ripple effect of her actions. By confronting her own fears and embracing conflict, she had inspired others to do the same. Colleagues, friends, and even strangers who heard her speak found the courage to address their own challenges. Lara's story became a beacon of hope for those who struggled with confrontation, showing them that it was possible to navigate conflicts with grace and emerge stronger on the other side. As Lara looked towards the future, she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She knew that life would continue to present new challenges, but she was ready to face them with the same resilience and determination that had guided her so far. She had discovered that true strength lay not in avoiding conflict, but in embracing it as a pathway to understanding, growth, and connection. And in doing so, she had found her voice, her purpose, and a life rich with meaning and authenticity. Lara's growth journey continued as she further immersed herself in her newfound confidence. She became a sought-after speaker, known for her captivating storytelling and her ability to connect with audiences on a deeply personal level. Her experiences with confrontation became the backbone of her speeches, inspiring countless individuals to face their own fears and challenges head-on. In addition to her public speaking, Lara ventured into writing. She began penning a memoir, detailing her journey from avoidance to engagement. The process was therapeutic, allowing her to reflect on her past and acknowledge the progress she had made. The memoir, titled From Shadows to Strength, resonated with readers, becoming a bestseller and earning her a place on numerous talk shows and podcasts. One day, while attending a book signing event, Lara met a young woman named Zara. Zara was struggling with a toxic work environment where her ideas were constantly dismissed and her contributions overlooked. She felt trapped and unsure of how to confront her situation. Lara took Zara under her wing, mentoring her and sharing practical strategies for addressing workplace conflicts. Over time, Zara's confidence grew, and she managed to turn her situation around, eventually becoming a respected leader within her organization. This mentorship experience reinforced Lara's belief in the power of support and guidance. Lara's personal life also saw significant developments. She and Omar decided to take their relationship to the next level by getting married. Their wedding was a celebration of love, growth, and mutual respect, attended by friends and family who had witnessed their journey. The couple's partnership continued to flourish, both personally and professionally, as they supported each other's dreams and aspirations. Despite her many achievements, Lara remained committed to her roots. She continued to volunteer with the nonprofit organization that had played a pivotal role in her transformation. She led initiatives aimed at fostering community dialogue and resolving conflicts, drawing on her own experiences to guide others. Her efforts earned her numerous accolades, but what mattered most to Lara was the impact she was making on individuals' lives. As Lara navigated her 30s and into her 40s, she encountered new challenges that tested her resolve. The rapid pace of societal changes, coupled with the increasing complexities of human interactions, required her to continuously adapt and evolve. But with each challenge, she drew on the lessons she had learned and the resilience she had built over the years. She found strength in the connections she had forged, knowing that she was not alone in her journey. Lara's story became a beacon of hope for many, a testament to the transformative power of confronting one's fears and embracing vulnerability. She had discovered that true fulfillment lay not in avoiding conflict, but in engaging with it constructively. Her journey was a continuous process of growth, learning, and self-discovery, one that she embraced with open arms. As she looked to the future, Lara felt a deep sense of purpose and excitement. She knew that there would always be new horizons to explore, new conflicts to navigate, and new opportunities for growth. And with each step forward, she carried with her the lessons of her past, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage, empathy, and an unwavering commitment to living authentically. In the end, Lara's story was not just about avoiding confrontation or embracing it. It was about finding the strength to be true to herself, to stand up for what she believed in, and to build connections that enriched her life and the lives of those around her. It was a story of resilience, hope, and the endless possibilities that come from facing one's fears and stepping into the light. Lara's journey reached new heights as she embraced the role of a change-maker in her community. Her work with the nonprofit organization and her social enterprise with Omar had already made a significant impact, but she felt a calling to do more. She decided to launch a series of workshops focused on conflict resolution, leadership, and personal growth. These workshops were designed for individuals from all walks of life, empowering them to navigate their own challenges and foster positive change in their communities. One particular workshop stood out as a turning point for Lara. It was held in a small town that had been deeply divided by political and social tensions. The participants included local leaders, activists, and residents, each bringing their own perspectives and grievances. Lara knew that this workshop would be a test of her abilities, but she was determined to make a difference. The workshop began with an exercise in active listening. Participants were paired up and asked to share their stories without interruption. Lara watched as years of pent-up frustration and anger began to surface. She facilitated the process with compassion, guiding the participants to find common ground and mutual understanding. By the end of the workshop, there was a palpable shift in the room. People who had once seen each other as enemies now spoke with respect and empathy. It was a powerful reminder of the potential for healing and reconciliation when people are willing to confront their differences. In her personal life, Lara and Omar decided to start a family. They welcomed their first child, a daughter named Amara, into the world. Parenthood brought its own set of challenges, and Lara found herself navigating conflicts on a new front. She and Omar had to balance their responsibilities as parents with their professional commitments, often facing moments of exhaustion and stress. But through open communication and mutual support, they managed to create a nurturing environment for Amara. Lara's experiences as a mother deepened her understanding of the importance of teaching the next generation about conflict resolution. She wanted Amara to grow up with the skills and confidence to face challenges head-on. Lara and Omar made it a priority to model healthy conflict resolution at home, demonstrating to Amara that disagreements could be resolved through dialogue and understanding. As Amara grew older, Lara noticed her daughter exhibiting signs of her own approach to confrontation. Amara was strong-willed and unafraid to express her opinions. One evening, during a family dinner, a disagreement arose over a simple matter. Instead of retreating, as Lara might have once done, Amara calmly articulated her perspective and listened to her parents' viewpoints. It was a moment of pride for Lara, seeing the seeds of her teachings taking root in her daughter. Lara's work continued to evolve, and she began collaborating with international organizations to promote conflict resolution and peace-building on a global scale. She traveled to regions affected by conflict, working with local communities to build bridges of understanding and cooperation. These experiences broadened her horizons and deepened her commitment to creating a more just and compassionate world. In one particularly challenging assignment, Lara found herself in a war-torn region where ethnic and religious tensions had led to widespread violence. The task was daunting, but Lara approached it with the same principles she had always relied on: empathy, active listening, and a commitment to finding common ground. She facilitated dialogues between opposing groups, encouraging them to share their stories and aspirations. Through her efforts, small but significant steps towards reconciliation were made, planting the seeds of hope in a region long plagued by conflict. Lara's story became a testament to the transformative power of confronting one's fears and embracing vulnerability. She had discovered that true strength lay not in avoiding conflict, but in engaging with it constructively. Her journey was a continuous process of growth, learning, and self-discovery, one that she embraced with open arms. As she looked to the future, Lara felt a deep sense of purpose and excitement. She knew that there would always be new horizons to explore, new conflicts to navigate, and new opportunities for growth. And with each step forward, she carried with her the lessons of her past, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage, empathy, and an unwavering commitment to living authentically. Lara's dedication to her mission became a defining aspect of her life. She founded an international organization called Voices for Change, which aimed to promote peace and conflict resolution through grassroots initiatives. The organization provided training, resources, and support to communities around the world, empowering them to address their conflicts constructively. As Lara's influence grew, she was invited to speak at the United Nations, sharing her insights on the importance of dialogue and empathy in resolving global conflicts. Her speech was a powerful testament to her journey, from a young woman who avoided confrontation to a leader who embraced it with courage and compassion. She highlighted the stories of individuals and communities she had worked with, demonstrating the profound impact of her work. Lara's legacy extended beyond her professional achievements. She and Omar raised Amara to be a compassionate and confident young woman, instilling in her the values of empathy and resilience. Amara grew up witnessing her parents' dedication to making a difference, and she followed in their footsteps, pursuing a career in international development. Lara took great pride in seeing her daughter carry forward the torch of positive change. In her later years, Lara reflected on her journey with a sense of fulfillment and gratitude. She had navigated the complexities of life with grace, learning from each confrontation and growing stronger with each challenge. Her story was one of transformation, resilience, and the power of human connection. Lara's memoir, From Shadows to Strength, continued to inspire readers worldwide. It became a staple in leadership and conflict resolution courses, offering valuable lessons to those seeking to make a difference. Lara received letters from individuals who had been touched by her story, each one a reminder of the impact she had made. As Lara approached the twilight of her career, she decided to step back from her leadership role at Voices for Change and focus on mentoring the next generation of changemakers. She established a fellowship program that provided young leaders with the skills, resources, and support to address conflicts in their own communities. Lara's wisdom and guidance continued to shape the future of conflict resolution long after she had retired from the front lines. Surrounded by her family and friends, Lara felt a deep sense of peace. She had lived a life of purpose, driven by a commitment to making the world a better place. Her journey from avoidance to engagement had not only transformed her own life, but it also left a lasting legacy of hope and empowerment. In the end, Lara's story was a testament to the human capacity for growth and change. She had discovered that true strength lay not in avoiding conflict, but in embracing it with empathy and understanding. Her life was a shining example of how one person's courage to confront their fears could create ripples of positive change in the world. As Lara looked out at the horizon, she knew that her story was complete, yet the impact of her journey would continue to be felt for generations to come. With a heart full of gratitude and a spirit of unwavering resilience, She embraced the future with hope and the knowledge that her legacy would live on in the hearts and minds of those she had inspired.